Baltimore, Maryland. Tonight, the Pirates take on the Baltimore Orioles in a brief two-game interleague series from Birdland. Yeah, it's the Bucks and the Birds, these two World Series rivals. Get back at it. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk and Robbie Inspikowski. The Pittsburgh Pirates just won 2 of 3 against the New York Mets, and we've been talking about the offense that sputtered much of April, but maybe starting to gain some traction. And Bob in particular, of course, Andrew McCutchen, the focal point of all this, and it looks like he is really starting to feel more and more confident at the plate.
Yeah, it really looks like he is confident and very comfortable. You know, back during that homestand, he was really working out on the field early in the day before anybody else would get there about trying to use the whole field, about, you know, not so much a rotation in his upper body, and he really has been doing that. It's really paid off. The first part of that, I think, was when he hit that home run to right field.
David Freese also part of the 15-hit attack on Sunday in New York.
Well, Freese is a cleanup guy, and ever since his DL stint, he come back, he was kind of rusty. And he has no problem hitting that ball to right field all the time. That's his bread and butter, and now you're seeing him do that in a very routine way.
So he had 3 hits on Sunday and drove in 3. So the Pirates the last 2 weeks, plus you look at a handful of players. Look at Jordy Mercer hitting over 404 OPS over 1,000. These are very gaudy numbers.
Oh, they're outstanding numbers. And Jordy and Jay Hay up at the top of that lineup. He's been getting on base, setting up opportunities for everybody. It's fantastic to see what the offense has been able to do of late.
So the Pirates and the Baltimore Orioles getting ready to play game 1 of a brief 2-game series. On the mound for the Pirates, well, what you see is what you get. A lot of strikes from Ivan Nova. Ivan the Incredible Nova. And the Bucks and the Birds are coming up next. The Orioles interleague play. Said the Pirates playing a brief 2-game series here after winning 2 of 3 in New York against the Mets. They'll be back home Thursday night. First of 4 against the Marlins. Next week at PNC Park, Colorado Rockies, and then the Chicago Cubs. Chad Kuhl will be pitching here tomorrow night against Wade Miley. There's Tyler Glass now. We'll see him on Friday night against former Bucco Vance Worley at PNC Park. Tonight it is Ivan Nova against Kevin Gausman. And, Trevor Williams had a strong start the other day, and tomorrow night we will be paying close attention to what's going on in Toledo, Ohio, with Jameson Tyone making what could be his final rehab start before rejoining the club. Adam Frazier will be leading things off for the Pirates. So, Bob, we just got done talking about the Pirates offense, and you keep your fingers crossed that with some solid pitching, you got a decent bullpen, you could still win your fair share of ball games. This will be a big test for the Pirates, these two, against the Orioles.
Yeah, obviously it will. The division is not really doing all that well this season, so really kind of a catching a break for that, and still plenty of time to get things put back together and keep pushing to get above 500.
Now our national anthem, Western High School's Sounds Unlimited, with the Star-Spangled Banner.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we welcome Western High School's Sounds Unlimited, who will now honor our nation with their rendition of our Star-Spangled Banner.
Appropriate that we would present the Star-Spangled Banner here in Baltimore. Its origin thanks to Francis Scott Key, as Andrew McCutchen hopes to continue this good hitting we talked about just a few moments ago.
Yeah, it really, as we were just talking really just a few seconds ago about the division is still very winnable. Nobody is taken off, no separation. It's up for grabs. With Kutch starting to be Kutch again, I can't get too carried away. It hasn't been that long, but if he continues to hit like he has in the last week or so, yeah, then he is definitely back, and that is hugely important for the offense. And there's no reason why we can't get right in the middle of this thing, because nobody has run away, separated at all.
Clint Hurdle's RAV4 starting lineup. So Adam Frazier getting set to lead things off. Frazier will be followed by Josh Harrison, who has multiple hits in 7 of his last dozen ball games. Gregory Polanco hits third, then David Freese. Josh Bell, the designated hitter tonight. Andrew McCutchen in that 6th hole. John Jaso will play first base. Francisco Savelli behind the dish, and Jordy Mercer is at shortstop. 4 hits for Frazier in the series against the Mets. Another guy that, like Freese, almost identical time on the disabled list, the hamstring issue, but he really didn't seem to skip a beat. Kevin Gausman now.
Take a look at his numbers on the year. One of the things that you are going to see with him is a good fastball velocity wise. He's going to throw quite a few of them, but not really getting a lot of success. You see the opponent batting average up there at 324. We'll be talking more about why that batting average is so high a little later on.
Honda defense behind Gausman. Adam Jones, a 4-time Gold Glover, patrols center field. Trey Mancini, the rookie, in left. Veteran Seth Smith is in right. Manny Machado and Chris Davis on the corners. J.J. Hardy and Jonathan Scope up the middle. And Caleb Joseph catches Kevin Gausman. Orioles 29 and 26 have lost 10 of their last 14. First pitch swinging and underway. It's out of play. Frazier 2 for 4. A couple of ribbies on Sunday. And that win over the Mets. He did go through about 5 or 6 games where he was not getting many hits. There's a line drive right at the left fielder. And it's seemingly an easy play. So 1 up, 1 down. It brings up Josh Harrison. Rivers Casino tips to win.
Well, righties hopefully will rule the night. You know, we talked about that, or I talked about that batting average. The opposition batting average is so high. It's the right-handers that are just pouring it on Gausman this year that he can't get them out. And as the night goes further, they hit him even better. And Nova, very good numbers against the Orioles in his career. Most of that, of course, or all of it, with the Yankees. But he likes pitching against these orange and black birds. So hopefully that will continue. I think 8 and 4 is his lifetime number.
And here's one of the right-handed hitters in the lineup. Josh Harrison, 6 for 11 in the series against the Mets.
It's very odd that you see these reverse split numbers that are so much in favor of right-hand hitters with a right-hand pitcher out on the mound.
Righty's hitting .370 this season against Kevin Gausman. .26 years old from Centennial, Colorado. And toward right, Smith back. Makes the catch. 2 outs will bring up Gregory Polanco, a left-hand hitter. And as Bob said, the righties hitting .370 against him, lefties .253.
You know, it's always been a trend for him, obviously. Right-handers has been the problem, but man, look at this season. That's 120 points higher for right-hand hitters. You don't see that very often. So hopefully the righties are going to carry the day for us. Doesn't mean a left-hander can't chip something in.
4 left-handed bats in the lineup against him, including Gregory Polanco. Polanco was 1 for 9 in New York. He got Sunday off.
This is a well-known ballpark for hitting in. Gives up home runs. Hopefully tonight we can maybe get a couple balls out of here. Looked like that ball really traveled easily out toward right center. That fly ball that Jay hit. Outfield all playing fairly deep with Polanco.
Gausman has also walked 27 batters, tied for 8th in the American League. The 82 hits given up, 3rd most in the junior circuit.
Good fastball. He certainly has a live arm, so he's one of those guys that can elevate and throw it by you. And that's what they tried there. You saw the high target. That pretty much where it was thrown. Look at Joseph's glove. It's up just almost in front of his face. Once that fastball up above the belt.
Polanco goes down on strikes. Couple of line drives from Frazier and Harrison. Polanco down swinging, and now Ivan Nova will take the hill. Coming up after the Pirates are retired in order. Buck Showalter, skipper of the Orioles, puts this lineup together. Seth Smith will lead things off. And it's Adam Jones and Manny Machado. Machado last 4 games, 6 for 15. Mark Trumbo is the DH. Chris Davis, power hitting first baseman, with Jonathan Scope at second. Trey Mancini is in left. J.J. Hardy, Caleb Joseph for the Orioles.
Ivan Nova obviously has some fine numbers. Continues on this road. Hopefully we can see him pitching in the All-Star game. Put that ERA in the twos, excuse me, and add on another 4 or 5 wins before we get there.
Francisco Cervelli, his battery mate.
Strike one. There's a shot.
Ball to strike on the 34-year-old Seth Smith. 5 homers and 11 runs batted in. Deep to center. McCutchen back, and it is gone. 3rd pitch of the game for Ivan Nova. He gives up the home run to Seth Smith. 1-0 Baltimore. 6 for Smith.
You see Nova there just kind of shake his head and kind of smirk a little bit, like, okay, no big deal. It's a solo home run. Nothing you can do about that. It was a pitch that he was trying to throw on the outside corner at the knees, and he left it up on kind of outside corner, belt high. And in this ballpark, well, we're going to see some of that tonight and tomorrow. Balls will fly out of here.
Adam Jones follows the home run with a bunt.
Referee's playing deep. So when you have a guy that lays down a good bunt, you're playing back there. There's nothing you can do but jog in, pick it up, and hand it back to the pitcher. I mean, look where Freese is. He's well back on the dirt. And Jones, who's only hitting about 250 something, and looking to pick up some hits. Got an easy one there.
Buck Showalter, John Russell is his bench coach, the former Pirates manager. Now Manny Machado.
There's a big bat that the Orioles would like to get going.
They're certainly encouraged the last 4 games. Series split with the Red Sox. Could be 2. 2 outs. Mercer to Harrison to Jaso. We check out the rest of the Pirates defensively. So Jaso gets the start at first base. And again on the infield, Harrison, Mercer, Freeze. Adam Frazier, Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco in the outfield left to right. Behind the plate, it's Cervelli. And again, Gregory Polanco back out there after a day off on Sunday, which means he had 2 straight days off. Pirates really can't complain about a workload now. 2 days off in the past week. Mark Trumbo. 8 homers, 28 runs batted in. One and two.
That might be the furthest outside in the dirt we've seen Noah throw a ball all year. Bounced that way out there, that 0-2 pitch. Oh, you're thinking about it a little. Taking his time, getting back up to look in for a sign. Didn't like that.
Trumbo is a .476 career hitter against him with 3 home runs. 10 for 21.
Looked like Cervelli wanted to put a little extra on that fastball. So after he put down 1, kind of gave a little flip sign with his pitching hand, like, hey, let's go ahead and fire it up there. See that little sign there? Is just like, hey, let's get this one downstairs. Didn't go downstairs, but it worked. You don't usually get a lot of ground balls up there.
Seth Smith, the leadoff home run, 1-0 Baltimore.
Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bucks!
Well, Now Seth Smith. It's the home run. Third pitch given by Ivan Nova in the ball game, and it's 1-0 Baltimore. Now David Freese. Pirates went down in order against Gausman. So it's Freese, Bell, and McCutchen. Gausman won his last start. Beat the Yankees, went 5 1/3, gave up 2 earned, despite walking 5 batters, a season high.
You know, Greg, it's all very small. What's the word for it when we're talking about stats and numbers? Small sample size. That's what I'm going at. But the way Frazier came back from his DL stint and the way Freese came back, that would point to there is something to maybe going down and getting some
swings,
rehab games and stuff like that. You know, Freese tried to come straight back without any live pitching.
Well, there's a seeing eye single if you ever saw one.
And really had a hard time to get going. Now he's gotten going of late. And then Frazier came back extremely hot. That's 2 guys, but that's the kind of thing that you see and you think, well, you know, there's something to going down and doing that. But then I'm sure we can find somebody that took 3 weeks off, came back and hit 400 the first 10 days back in the lineup. You can find examples like that too, I'm sure.
Josh Bell had 3 hits in the series in New York, including his 10th and 11th home runs of the season, his rookie year.
As with most guys who hit the ball out of the ballpark, we've seen with Bell that it can be a little bit of a streaky thing with him. And he'll get hot and hit 3 in a week, and then he'll cool off a little bit and then heat up again with the long ball swing.
We're already in select company, Bob, too. The fact that he's hit 11 home runs as a rookie. Look, before the All-Star break, all time, Ralph Kiner hit 15 in 1946 as a Pirate rookie. That's the record at the break. Jason Bay a dozen, and he won Rookie of the Year. And there's Josh Bell along with Wally Westlake.
And plenty of time to improve on that 11.
More than a month to go.
I mean, he 4 more home runs over the course of the month would be nothing. I mean, he could be #1 on that list.
Mike Estabrook just took one foul ball. Marvin Hudson at first. Jerry Lane is the crew chief at second. Dan Bellino at third. Weekly hit toward third. Tough play, and a bad play as it turns out by Machado. He throws it past first. Initially, Kamara Barti was pointing towards second base, but Josh Bell held his ground. Meanwhile, Freese winds up at third.
I think this is it's obviously a physical error, throwing it away, but also a big mental error. Even if he makes a good throw there, Bell's got this beat by a good step, maybe even 2 steps. I mean, he's out of the picture even. So that was a poor decision on Machado's part to even throw that ball. And that's put the Pirates into a great position here to get that run right back.
Single E5. Putting runners at first and third, and here is Andrew McCutchen. And goes the other way, but fouled off.
Too much English. Why is spin called English? You're from Ireland.
Not from Great Britain.
You're from Ireland. It's
so
right next door. Just across the lake.
You're from California. It's right next door, just across the country.
and the Atlantic. A continent and an ocean.
Here's Andrew McCutchen on Sunday. This is just icing on the cake as the Pirates romped the Mets 11-1. That was a 3-run homer in the ninth. Celebrating his anniversary, his major league debut was on June the 4th back in 2009. And he fights this one off into right field to tie the game.
I like Kutch's commitment to going the other way there. I mean, if he tries to hook a ball, he's good chance of putting that ball on the ground, and yeah, you get the run home, but you might also give up a double play and get 2 outs. So he's committed to hitting this ball the other direction so he can easily lift it in the air. Doesn't get much, but that's okay. It falls in for a hit. Good situational hitting.
Now John Jaso with nobody out. Freese had the ground single to center. Infield hit for Bell. A little pop shot single into right for McCutchen to tie it. John Jaso hitting .357 over his last 13 games. And good career numbers against Gausman.
Yeah, splitter.
Looked like it. You see the numbers for Jaso against Gausman, and as we pointed out, the Orioles right-hander prefers left-handed batters, but in this case, Jaso, solid numbers, long-time American leaguer himself. In his second year with the Pirates. And there's a line shot toward the left center field gap. Jones cuts it off, but this will score. Bell into second with a double goes Jaso, and the Pirates lead 2-1.
That offense we talked about in the Oakland going to be clicking right away here. Still nobody out and 2 guys in scoring position. Trying to go fastball upstairs, and wanted it up and in, and the ball was up and away, and Jaso just goes with it. It made a lot of sense to come up and in because he threw him a couple of those splitters, get Jaso out in front. So you're reading that bat and you're thinking, okay, he's going to be, telling himself to stay back. And if he is really going to start waiting, well, then I can get something on his hands. So it was a good plan, but it wasn't executed. Gausman threw that fastball up and away, and yeah, the hitter is staying back, and now he can just slap that to the opposite gap.
Nobody out as Francisco Cervelli steps to the plate. He lines it into the seats right side. Another Pirate that has got it going the last couple weeks. Of course, we've talked a lot about the fact that Cervelli's line drives weren't falling first month or so, and now good work is paying off. Last 12 games, 389 clip. 2 stakes on the table for him with McCutchen and Jaso in scoring position. $20 ribbies on the year. Cervelli didn't feel well when the Pirates arrived in New York, so Elias Diaz started the first 2 games of the series, and Cervelli got back in there on Sunday. Two and one the count. Roger McDowell, this Orioles pitching staff been just okay. Team ERA of 4.34. It's tied for 10th in the American League in terms of earned run average.
And there's no escape hatch, this being an American League ballpark. No pitcher that's coming up that you can look at.
Yeah, on deck you got Jordy Mercer. Told you what he's been doing the last couple of weeks.
You know, I thought of an interesting compromise the other night on this DH stuff.
Compromise?
Yes.
Oh.
But I'm not going to say what it is on the air because it'll look like I'm actually willing to compromise.
Yeah.
But if it ever came to it someday, I would have a proposal to make. I'll tell you in between innings what it is.
You're going to keep it a secret from everybody
well,
else?
Then you can like.
Although now get
you
in
can
trouble.
make the decision of whether it's viable or not.
Ground ball to third, and McCutchen gets back and on to first. Machado has plenty of time to throw out Cervelli. One out, and the Pirates still in the position of runners at second and third.
Machado, knowing that he has no play at third base, but if there was any thought of Kutch taking off for home on a throw to first, that getting him to come back to the bag put an end to that.
Machado doesn't seem all that fired up at the moment.
I know he was very nonchalant running out that ground ball earlier.
And now Mercer.
A double play ball. He was very laid back on his way to first.
Since May 22nd, Jordy Mercer's batting average is .418. His average overall this season now has continued to climb because of this great stretch. Two and one. Gausman was a first-round pick by the Orioles out of LSU 5 years ago, the 4th overall pick that season. Now it's 3 and 1. 5.92 ERA in a dozen starts. He's been better in May after a dreadful April, a .750 earned run average. That'll get out of play. 97 pitch speed. Remember Nicholas from last year. Nicholas Golanowski. If you're watching the Pirates and the Washington Nationals 18-inning game in D.C. and you rode the emotional roller coaster with him. He's here behind the Pirates dugout. And a little flare. Talk about some English, and McCutchen will score. As Scope thought about it, it is 3-1 Pirates. RBI for Mercer, his 19th.
Now, the reason Scope even thought about it is that ball, that little humpback liner. I think Kutch had to think about it for a second to make sure that ball's going to bounce before he takes off. Let's watch and see what Kutch does. He's waiting. It's just a little bit of a wait there. And that is why Scope took a little look toward home, but obviously no chance to throw out McCutchen.
Give Mercer the RBI, and now Frazier with Jaso at second and 2 outs.
These are the kind of innings that win ball games. 3-run innings.
After a quick 1-2-3 first, this is the 30th pitch of the second. So they've made Gausman work.
Would have been nice. Almost over the third base bat.
Take a look.
Just a little bit too high there for Frazier to handle. Had to offer at it though. Got 2 strikes on him. It's a pitch that you might get called a strike, so you got to go after it.
He lined out to start the game, lined out to left, keeping it up and away. And then goes down.
Splitter.
For his second strikeout. Pirates score 3 and lead 3-1. Nicholas Goldowski, remember him last year in D.C., the frustration, the excitement, the fun. July 17, 2016, it got long into the afternoon, early evening. And how excited he got when Starling Marte won it. One of the great moments of the 2016 season in D.C. and he is here tonight to watch his Pirates. The camera person who caught that scene last year is working for us tonight, Jason. Great work to find young Nicholas. Routine ground ball. There's Jason Zerbe. Always looking out for those cool shots.
Nicholas, we got a 2-run lead. Come on.
There he is. They're buddies. They're tight at the hip now.
Yeah, we need to give him cotton candy or something. Get him sugared up.
Jonathan Scope after Chris Davis is retired. Nova. The leadoff home run to Smith. Then a bunt single. Got Machado to bounce into a double play. He's gotten 2 ground outs since. Deep to left. Frazier back. 2 outs. Enjoy a summer afternoon at the ballpark. Coming up on Saturday, 4:05, Pirates Marlins at PNC Park. First 20,000 fans get a Pirates t-shirt thanks to Sheets. Go to pirates.com/free shirt Saturday for your tickets. That's game 2. Game 3 of a 4-game series this coming Saturday at 4:05, Pirates and Fish. Trevor Williams will be facing Dan Straley on Saturday. Trey Mancini, the rookie outfielder, has a .294 average, 7 homers. How about the scheduled starters on Sunday at PNC Park, the final game of that 4-game series? Ivan Nova will start against Jeff Locke. Jeff Locke made his first start as a Marlin 5 days ago.
Pitched well.
He did. He's on the mound tonight in Chicago against Jake Arrieta and the Cubs.
Six innings, gave up 1 run, I think.
Didn't pitch as well as Edinson Volquez.
No.
Who no-hit the Diamondbacks a couple days ago. Volquez will start on Thursday night against Garrett Cole at PNC Park.
Up until that point, though, Edison had been having a strong year.
How about the 4-game series, Bob? 3 former Pirates will be on the mound against them. Volquez, Vance Worley on Friday night, Jeff Locke on Sunday afternoon.
Inter-squad game from a couple years ago.
Garrett Cole to start against Volquez on Thursday night. And don't forget Garrett Cole's event Sunday night at Siena Mercado, Uncorked for a Cause. A lot of the Pirate players will be on hand. You can go to uncorkedforacause.com. Get your tickets for that fundraising event. Uncorkedforacause.com. Garrett Cole and his teammates will be putting that on at Fine Restaurant. This ball's grounded foul. If you like wine tasting, it's the event to go to.
I like both of those.
And Bucco's.
Wine and tasting.
Yeah. Mancini, Winter Haven, Florida native.
He's been to Florida lately.
Some sunburn in the back of his neck. Notre Dame product, 8th round pick in 2013. Ivan Nova gets his first strikeout. And that's a 1-2-3 second with the Bucks up 3-1.
On here in the third inning, we're pleased to be joined by one of the most popular Pirates in recent history, if not all of Pirates history. A.J. Burnett lives here in Maryland, about a half-hour away. Came over and see the rest of the boys. All right, this is year 2 of retirement for you. How's it treating you, and what in the world are you doing?
What am I doing here in the stands? Yeah, I'm doing everything really. I mean, day goes by day, and the kids got something going on, but it's baseball with them just like it's baseball with me. So it keeps us busy and mowing enough grass where I get away from Karen for a little bit, so she ain't got to put up with me all day. Still miss it, but I'm enjoying, like, it's my first time in the stands ever. So brought AJ and Ashton with me and bringing some good luck, hopefully.
Yep, AJ's 2 kids sitting right here to his right. Sitting in the stands. This is the first time in your entire life you've ever watched a baseball game amongst the fans. What's his view like?
Looks a lot easier from here, man. Same time, it looks harder from here. So I can see how everybody's like, oh. But it's, it's fun. It's different. We always usually get a suite, when we come to games. But I want them to be downfield level, see how the guys play, see how they go about their business, how they prepare on deck in the field and stuff like that.
You played 17 years in the big leagues. When you think of your time wearing a Pirates uniform, now that you have some time between the end of your career and you being retired and now, what comes to mind when you think of that?
Probably the greatest time of my career, hands down. We were talking about it in the dugout. I got to hang out with some of the guys earlier, and they were all like, the best thing that's happened, the best thing. I was like, I don't know about that. We just had a really good group at the right time, and that was a puzzle piece that helped fit the rest of the puzzle. So, I'm here. There's relationships. I mean, other teams come here that I played for, and I'm not in the seats watching them play. So there's a special place in my heart for those guys down there in Pittsburgh.
Last time you came to watch the Pirates, Andrew McCutchen promised he would hit you a home run in Philadelphia. He didn't hit it once. He did it twice. Did he make any promises tonight?
I didn't ask him. I didn't want to put too much pressure on it. I know he's two away from something pretty special. And I was just going to see if I can bring it out of him without, daring him or challenging him. So I think I mentioned it to you, but I got a big room that I started with all 17 years worth of memorabilia. And you talk about a bunch of crap. But I had a nice bat rack, and I got one slot open, and I needed a McCutchen bat. So that's why I'm here, to get my McCutchen bat.
So you got it, right?
I did. I'm so proud of it.
Well, AJ, it's great to talk to you. I know you just asked me. Now, Greg, a moment ago, he just asked me where Greg Brown was. I said he's live on television right now. So is there anything you have for Brownie?
Man, I miss you, Brownie. And that other cat up there with you.
Bob.
Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
We miss him, too.
I'm going to try to stick up there and see you guys.
We miss him, too.
He says he misses you, too.
Hugs and kisses, guys.
And we asked him last year, he told us, Robbie, that he was in great shape. He was in Philadelphia, and part of me wondered whether he was itchy, and he said, I don't think Karen would like it. I said, you kidding? Karen would love it if you came back and pitched.
Yep. So basically, when Brownie talked to you, he said, hey, you still look pretty good. You look good right now. I mean, are you coming back or what?
Hey, you know what? I did think, where are you at, buddy? I did think about it for about 3 days. And then I worked out and I ran once and I couldn't get up for about 6 days, so I just shut it right back down.
That sounds like it's a resounding no, Greg.
We'll keep our hopes up.
So any
We're not
rumors
shut
of an
the
A.J.
door.
Burnett comeback, forget about it. It is not happening. I know he's having a great time.
Hey, Robbie, tell him we'll never shut the door on that. We'll keep our hopes going.
Bob and Greg, they just said they're never shutting the door on the comeback by you, okay? Just so you know from now on.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't count on it, but I wouldn't close the door either. Hey, you never know when AJ's going to pop up. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. He's still throwing baseball. Brownie wanted to. He's giving you a wave. Look behind you right there. You see above that sign right there? You see him waving at you? There they are. Giving the famous AJ stare. There it is.
I tricked those two guys, didn't I?
Yeah.
I tricked everybody.
Absolutely. One other thing, before we let you go, when you remember the standing ovation, we interviewed your kids and you came off to that standing ovation. How cool moment was that? And where did that stand out in your career?
Man, that one and that was, the game where you guys interviewed and that standing ovation, and the one I got. Remember the day game I pitched against Colorado? Well, I mean, I got a bunch of standing ovations. Like I said, I tricked a lot of people in Pittsburgh, but that's another thing. I mean, I felt like no matter what I did on the mound, they all understood what I was about, and they all respected everything I did, whether I won the game or lost it.
Well, I know these fans in Pittsburgh, they certainly miss you. I know they're going to be blowing up your Twitter feed, so
it's been dead lately. I don't really tweet anymore. Nothing to tweet about. I'm going to tweet about my tractor.
All the land you're riding your ATVs on.
Yeah, right. Well, Instagram those, but I'm going to try to get up there since school's out. These guys get out next week, actually into this week, and you know, maybe a weekend or two down the road, we'll get up there and spend a weekend in Pittsburgh.
Certainly, AJ, thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thanks.
Greg and Bob, how about that? AJ doing well and looks fantastic. Don't ever close that door in a comeback. I'll start the rumor for him, even though there's no chance it's happening.
I'll tell you, it's remarkable when you look at his career, 17 years, and as he said, his 3 most enjoyable seasons were wearing the Pirates uniform, and it is not a coincidence that the Pirates started winning.
Absolutely
they acquired
not
him from the Yankees.
I mean, he said that he was just a puzzle piece. Well, that was an awfully big chunk of that puzzle. That was several puzzle pieces, and he had an amazing impact on that team's psyche. Really,
he brought that edge.
Yeah,
that the Pirates really needed.
Hey, you guys, we're not going to just be a place where people come and feel comfortable here. Oh, we're going to go to Pittsburgh and play the Pirates. Maybe we'll take 2 out of 3. Those days were over. That attitude that got changed right away.
Makes his home in the Baltimore area. And now David Freese. We saw the pickoff try. Polanco got clipped on the throw over from Gaussman. Freese singled and scored in the second. Polanco has 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts this season. And a double play ball. Well, that'll do it. Freese hits into the inning-ending double play, but the Pirates lead 3-1, head to the bottom of the 3rd, and remembering A.J. Burnett. Back our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Check out some news and notes. Last night, the Houston Astros beat the Royals 7-3. They've won 11 in a row. They have a 14-game lead in the American League West. They have the very best record in Major League Baseball at 42-16. They are this year's version of the 2016 Cubs. David Ortiz considering returning to the Red Sox in some role. Pedro Martinez, his buddy, the Hall of Fame pitcher, tweeted out that Big Papi is working out. I know he's in baseball shape, and then he clarified it. So I'm not suggesting he's making a comeback. I said David is in baseball shape because he works out, and the team could use a swing or two. And David Ortiz was at a charity bowling event last night in New York and talked about returning in some capacity. J.J. Hardy dribbles one. Nova on to first. One up and one down here in the bottom of the 3rd. The Bucks lead 3-1. And good to hear from AJ Burnett, and always getting a reaction. Point Park University tweets. Boy, do we miss you, AJ Batman. In the house here in Baltimore. There's his Twitter handle. WUDEYDO34.
You know, not only did he have an effect on the psyche of the guys in that clubhouse, he had a connection with the fans right away that has always just been incredible.
And with that man, Ray Searage.
And I know you had something to do with it, Greg, but one of the most amazing things, I think you had something to do with it. One of the most amazing things I ever saw was the night that the bat signs were up against the city building.
That was like city became Gotham.
Yeah, that was
real life.
I mean,
that was unbelievable.
That was one of the most awesome sights I've ever seen, and you know, one of the things that I won't forget, and it just.
And he won't forget it either.
The way the city just absolutely adored it. Look at that.
That's unbelievable.
Those are lasers painted on the, you know, the actual lights on the buildings.
That took a lot of work. That was the momentum got started with our friends on Star 100.7 FM with Bubba, and that it picked up momentum, and we really needed somebody to step up, and the person who stepped up anonymously was Thomas Tull. He was the one that really got that going, and that was not inexpensive doing that either that night. That was really cool, though. Very memorable. That's Caleb Joseph. Cracks this one toward left on the line. Frazier there.
You know, one of the things tonight, Greg, that I would like to see. I like the fact that we got a 3-1 lead, but don't get comfortable. Build on a little bit, because Nova's still going to fire strikes, even though this is a very cozy ballpark, and you can see that the ball's carrying well. There could be a couple more solo shots off him tonight, because he's attacking. He's going at him. Doesn't matter. A solo home run is not going to faze him. So we need to keep working on that lead. Get it up there a little bit. Very cozy. 333 down the left field line. It's only 318 to the right field side.
Cozy Camden Yards, Oriole Park.
Beautiful ballpark.
Celebrating 25 years, and they've done a great job of really keeping this place, I mean, clean as can be. Looks brand new.
You can argue there's a handful of great ballparks in baseball that are a destination place for baseball fans. This has to be one of them. Has to be in that top 5.
No doubt.
This was kind of, when the people saw this, that's what I think really got the ball rolling for new stadiums.
I think the new Comiskey started it, but I unfortunately hate to say it, but I think many organizations learn some of the things not to do at the new Comiskey.
Yeah, I think it was just okay. Yeah, it's a ballpark. And then they built
saw
Camden
some
Yards,
and they really corrected a lot of those here and in some minor league cities. But yeah, this was the creme de la creme. The Beano Railroad building beyond the warehouse, beyond the right field wall, nestled right in downtown.
They learned how to embrace the neighborhood instead of trying to like wipe everything out and not be part of the neighborhood.
Kind of a centerpiece of renaissance of the Inner Harbor here. Rich history of baseball in this city. This edition of the Orioles was the former St. Louis Browns, and the ball off of Frazier's glove, trying to make the knee-high catch, and planks it.
Got a little slice going up there. I'm sure there was some movement. Frazier just didn't handle it well. Off the left-hander's bat. It's moving from his left to right as he's coming in. and it goes off that side of the glove. That's the way the direction the ball was moving. And they'll call it an error.
They flash the E.
I like that.
E7.
That's another thing I like about this park. Add that. They're very clever. H and E.
Smith homered in the first and now reaches on the two-base error in the third. Adam Jones followed the home run with a bunt single. Adam Jones, that bunt hit ended an 0 for 12 hitless string. He is batting .438 with runners in scoring position. The best mark in the National League. Former Oriole, now national, Matt Waiters of the Nats. .455, best in the National League. Adam Jones, the best in the American League. That's the best mark in the junior circuit. And now Cervelli wants to talk to Nova. Nova 8-4, 16 career appearances against Baltimore.
We'll be talking about the 0-2 count, 2 outs. Time for a visit to the mound.
And Frazier. So the error turns out not to hurt on the scoreboard. Nova has to throw a few more pitches, but leads 3-1. Go to the fourth inning in Baltimore. Josh Bell will be leading things off against Kevin Gausman. First of a brief 2-game series. Bell had an infield single and scored in the second. A Barrel Automotive League leaders stat, and this is an all-time rookie stat. At bats per home run. Wally Berger in 1930 as a rookie for the Boston Braves, homered every 14.61 at bats. Josh Bell, if the season were to end today, would have the 8th best mark all time among National League rookies. Some impressive power hitters on that list.
If he hits 4 more home runs by the halfway mark, he's on pace for 30. That's got to give him some all-star game.
Yeah, good point.
Thought anyway.
Yeah.
For a rookie.
Cody Bellinger is getting a lot of attention in LA.
Hard to get attention in LA.
Yeah.
much media or anything like that in the town.
Gausman has given up 10 home runs in 62 innings. And he strikes out his third.
Gausman certainly has a good splitter. You can see why the lefties have a hard time with him. That's a nice pitch, but most of the time a right-hander will use his splitter way more against left-hand hitters than will right-hand hitters. The splitter is essentially a changeup. You're not only taking speed off the pitch, but you're also taking backspin off of it. It's kind of the only really difference. And because you take that backspin off by splitting your fingers wide, you don't have the aerodynamics trying to keep the ball up, and you see that splitter will go in and drop because of that. But it is a changeup essentially. You're taking the speed off the pitch more than anything else. And you don't see too many guys. I mean, you see more recently, but right on right changeups.
Why is that?
And it's used to be kind of rare, but now you see it a lot. I don't know why. Guys have better changeups, perhaps.
Strikeout number 4, back-to-back Ks now for Gausman. Pirates scored 3 in the second. Started out that second inning with 4 straight hits. John Jaso doubled in a second run. Pops this one up. J.J. Hardy, a shortstop over on that right side, makes the easy catch, and the Pirates go down in order for a second time. Back to work, Ivan Nova.
It's time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Back here in Baltimore, young George Herman Ruth.
Skinny back then, wasn't he?
Yeah, born in this city. Before all the burgers.
Oh, and that was the day he was still an excellent pitcher.
Yeah.
Back when he had that physique. He was known when he was younger as much for his pitching as his hitting prowess. Quite a player, Mr. Ruth.
I saw a man who was a pitching coach of yours who was named after Babe Ruth, George Herman Ruth. Herm Starrett passed away on Friday. I know you've talked about him fondly.
Oh,
your
yeah,
Phillies pitching coach.
You know, one of those guys that a lot like Ray Searage that everybody loved. He was not an enemy in the world, and was really dedicated to his job. Sad to hear.
Yeah, Starrett was 80. One-time Orioles pitcher. Passed away in Statesville, North Carolina the other day. 2-2 on Machado. He bounced into a 6-4-3 double play in the first inning. Just one strikeout so far for Nova. Machado and the Orioles strike out a bunch. Only 3 other teams in the American League have struck out more times than the Birds. And down on strikes, there's Machado, second K. We'll bring up Mark Trumbo. We get to our day automotive this day in Pirates history. 1986. Pirates and Mets split a twin bill. Rick Rhoden got the win in game 1. Bob Walk earned the save. Mets won game 2 behind 3 homers. This day in 1986.
Yeah, I think I probably struck out Strawberry for the last out.
And afterwards, you were quoted as saying, "I only get a strikeout when I need one."
Must have been somebody else that needed it. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to pitch that 9th inning, but earlier they had cut the lead to 3, and then I knew I was going to be in the...
4-out save.
Is that what it was?
That was old school.
That's right. That's old school. Leland must have been out of his mind that day. Or everybody else had pitched 4 days in a row.
Say, or out of pitching. Well, you had multiple roles before you worked your way into that rotation.
Multiple roles. That's right. A little everything. There's times, Greg, where if you like your job and you want to keep your job, you do what you're told. That was a time in our life where they didn't want to give me the ball. I didn't ask many questions. Kind of like that's how I still am, as you know. It's kind of where that all started.
It doesn't surprise me in the least.
My nickname's Dumpy.
Yep.
Very flexible.
Yep. Nothing phases you?
Nope. Never ever get upset at anything.
Well, now full count on Trumbo. And a rare walk. 7 now on the season.
They're so rare. About the last 2 for sure. Nova wouldn't even take the ball back. It's like he just gave up a home run or something. He walks
He's more
around.
upset now than he is when he gave the Smith homer.
When he gave Smith homer, you saw the look on his face. Like,
oh, well,
okay.
That happens.
The look on his face there was like he just gave a grand slam. He went with an off-speed pitch, and he didn't make it work.
Chris Davis bounced into the shift in his first time at bat. Grounded to Jordy Mercer. You see Mercer swung over on the right side. That is David Freese playing the shortstop position.
No one liked that call.
Buck was barking.
I don't think he liked it.
No.
Got a little Earl Weaver in him.
Oh, strike 3 called. Chris Davis has struck out for the 88th time this season. Most in baseball.
Well, there's nothing to dispute about that one. You know, that's the breaking ball that I say you can't ever get away with when it's 0-2, 1-2. And there's an exception to everything. That is a hanging 0-2 curveball. That if the guy is in any kind of a 2-strike approach, he's going to hit the heck out of that. That's a mistake pitch, and it just never got the bat off his shoulder for strike 3. So you never know. You know, 3-1, 2-0. You might first pitch of the at bat. Might get away with a breaking ball there, but never 0-2, 1-2. Almost never.
This is Ivan Nova's 12th start this season. Came in with a record of 5-4 and a 2.92 ERA. Only 4 pitchers in the National League have lower earned run averages than Nova. Close.
All get all those pitchers up there. And really the curveball that's probably the toughest pitch to get called for a strike at the very top edge of the strike zone, because it's coming in higher and then kind of drops right at the last moment. So the entire time it's coming in, it looks high. You don't get that one called a strike much at all.
And now to a second batter in the inning. He's gone to 3-2. Trey Mancini on deck. Chase Hill will back off first with Trumbo on there. He walked. Broken bat. Mercer. And a little pick on the other end by Jaso ends the bottom of the 4th. A walk. Nothing across. Pirates still lead 3-1.
on Twitter Tuesday, and the first question he was asked was, what's it like to throw 100+ miles per hour?
You know, it's pretty awesome just to throw 100, just to see the face of the hitters, you know, when they see that on the screen, like it's like 100+. It's pretty sad. It's pretty bad for them just to see that coming from the left side.
You know what's unique about Felipe Rivero and throwing 100+? I asked him off camera how fast he threw when he was about 15, 16 years old, when he was a teenager coming up in Venezuela. He said, I was throwing about maybe 75. Sometimes I would touch 80. So in a brief time, he's added almost 30 miles per hour to his velocity, and he's not the biggest, most muscular guy you'll ever see. So it's nothing short of amazing when you look at Felipe Rivero, Greg and Bob, the velocities he's been able to put up, and obviously he's quite proud of it as well.
And he's made 9 straight scoreless appearances. Robbie, he's right on track. Talk about all-star possibilities. How about an 0.63 ERA in his 29 outings?
There's something crazy will have to happen for him not to be on an all-star team. He's one of the most dominant relievers in the league now. Everybody knows that. And he's right. When he's up there putting up, you know, 101s, those kind of numbers up on that scoreboard, you can bet that the hitters are seeing, especially the guys on the on-deck circle.
Cervelli pops it up.
And he's got quality secondary pitches also that if they really dial it up to where they're going to hit that 101, that makes them vulnerable to his other stuff.
Speaking of pitching, and all-star closer Zach Britton on the DL, our Allegheny Health Network injury update. Second time this year, left forearm strain. A year ago, he led the American League in saves. But, so far this season, 9 innings of work, and be back sometime after the All-Star break. And of course, that game last year when he had arguably the best closer in the game on that postseason contest against the Blue Jays, he kept him in the bullpen, and the Orioles ended up not only losing the game and eliminated from the postseason, but that really stuck in the craw of a lot of Orioles fans. And Buck Showalter had to try to answer that almost the entire winter. A double for Mercer. And let's go back to the studio. Paul Alexander has this game break. Well, Paul, Adam Wainwright's last start, he won it himself. He got the home run and got the victory, but tonight different story for Wainwright. 5 runs and 3 1/3. Tim Adelman is on the mound for Cincinnati. Game 2 of that series. Reds won last night 4-2. National League Central Division, it is there for the taking. If some team, and David Freese talked about this the other day, somebody gets hot, runs off a handful of wins in a row, 8 out of 10, something like that, they could take charge. Pirates just 3.5 back. Cubs and Brewers are 2.5 up on the Cardinals, 3 up on the Reds, and 3.5 in front of Pittsburgh. The Cubs trail the Marlins 1-0 early. The Brewers are leading at home over the Giants 4-0 in the 3rd. Frazier rolls this one to first in the 2nd out. Jordy Mercer, a 1-out double. Now at 3rd base following the ground out, and it'll be up to Josh Harrison. Talked early about the right-handed hitters this season against Gaussman. Here's one now.
Be a nice clutch 2-out RBI. Good run to get home.
The righties in the lineup have 3 of the 5 hits for the Pirates. Jay Hay 0 for 2. "13 out of 20 first pitch strikes for Gaussman. Jay Hay, look at the numbers. He should also receive some all-star consideration. Fly ball toward center. Jones there. Pirates strand Mercer. At the halfway mark, lead 3-1.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
UPMC scoreboard 3-1 in favor of the Pirates going to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Baltimore. You can come to every Pirates home game with the new ballpark pass, just $29.99 a month. Get a standing room ticket for fireworks nights, free shirt Saturdays, and the Fan Jam concert coming up later this summer with Chicago. Get your June pass now before the first home game coming up on Thursday night. Go to pirates.com/ballpark pass for details. $29.99 a month. All those tickets, ball bounced and playing that last hop freeze. That does the 360 spin and gets Trey Mancini by about a half a step. No panic from Freeze.
No, not at all. He really took his time, knew who he was running, knew he had that time. He goes backwards right there. See him step back. He wants that longer hop. It's a little spin right on the money. Jeff King like. Got him by a half step.
Did Kinger do that a lot, huh?
Always got him by.
He was the master.
The master of the get him by a half step.
Almost like he was doing it intentionally.
Whether somebody's flying down there or they're running a 6 flat down there, he's still going to get him by a half step. All the time.
Don't see that too often. Nova bounces one past everybody. Nova threw out Hardy in the 3rd. Pop up. Harrison. 2 away. Bring up Caleb Joseph. Oh, so many Pirate fans in from the Pittsburgh area for tonight and tomorrow night, including our buddy Joe Mineta, Jack and Lisa Robinson. Great Pirate fans are here. You see the black and gold everywhere, mixed in with some orange. A lot of history between these two teams in the 71 and 79 World Series.
Kind of like looking at a garden with a lot of lilies. Some orange ones, some yellow ones.
Very pretty. Yeah, they won the American League Championship in 1971, and the Pirates beat them in that World Series. The Bucks beat the Birds again in 1979. Steve Blass and company in 1971. Roberto, the MVP. Played at Old Memorial Stadium back in those days. Pirates took him to 7 games both times, and both times clinched in Baltimore. Frank and Brooks Robinson, 2 all-time greats. Eddie Murray, Jim Palmer.
Yeah, they definitely had some fantastic starting pitching back in those days.
Soft liner. Fantastic pitching for Ivan Nova again. Now the Frank Robinson statue. Pirates lead 3-1.
On Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
3-1 ball game. The Pirates in front here in Baltimore. Yep. Getting ready, maybe.
You got to stay loose.
Yeah.
Got to stay
in the ball game. Look at that.
Pronate,
right
supinate.
step.
Does it all game. Every time a pitcher gets up and does a little exercise. Like one of those workouts.
That's great dedication.
Like the old Jane Fonda video.
Polanco has struck out and walked.
You ever try to exercise one of those videos along with him?
The Jane Fonda?
Well, not necessarily that one. I know you're a little young for that. No, you never have?
Can't say that I have. I was trying to figure out where exactly that young lady is.
Out there by the chicken wire.
She's standing up in the middle of the section.
Ready? See, there's the fence. Working her back a little bit. And then over. Oh, here we go. Let's do some side to sides. Stretch those intercostals.
Well, she's got to loosen up her left arm tomorrow because Wade Miley, the lefty, goes for Baltimore against Pirates right-hander Chad Kuhl. Coverage begins at 6:30. Our Nissan Road ahead tomorrow night, concluding game of the brief series. Now, this is a home-and-home series. The Birds will come to Pittsburgh the last 2 regular season home games. I don't know if she comes along on a lot of the road trips or not.
Do you think like some of the Oriole relief pitchers just they get up and just start doing things like this just to see if she can go along with it? They think about, okay, what are we going to do today?
I wonder.
What if they start doing some like push-ups? Will she like drop down and do push-ups?
Now, when they're out, you know, getting loose on the mound, about ready to get into a ball game, does she?
Oh, go through
she
throwing
fake like she's going through the
I don't
throwing
think she does. I haven't seen her do a throwing motion. Just the exercise.
Well, no. Have you seen her before today?
Now she's doing what Pirate guys are doing. So shouldn't it?
Nobody's been warming up yet.
No, but she's been exercising all game.
I know, but I'm saying if a guy gets up and starts loosening on the mound.
No, she won't do that.
She won't?
No.
Now, do you think Hudson's doing that just to get her going?
No, I don't think he's paying attention to her.
Oh. How'd you like to have a seat like right behind her? Ball hit hard to right by Freeze, nearing the wall and clear the deck. Cannonball coming. Oppo for Freeze. Number 6 gives the Pirates a 4-1 lead.
That was that spot we talked about earlier. Jay Hay hit one right in that same area, and it really looked like it carried well. I had a feeling that was not going to be the last ball we saw hit deep toward the right field seats. Hit in the right spot too, because the wall kind of jumps up right there, doesn't it?
Yes. 6 homers for Freeze, 4-1 Pirates. One of those right-handed hitters we were talking about against Gaussman.
See where this pitch was. Oh, right down the middle.
Hopper played by Scope. Retires Bell.
Does that go the other way? Swing that Freeze always has. You can see where the wall goes up much higher, and he hit it just to the left of that.
Smart hitting.
Very smart.
Andrew McCutchen last time up struck out looking, but his first at bat dumped the one into right field for an RBI single. Gaussman still throwing hard as he approaches 100 pitches. 2-1. Oh, high fly ball hit deep to center field, and Jones makes the catch and a little bobble at the end. A.J. Burnett thought, hey, I was in Philadelphia and saw Kutch hit a pair. Almost. Adam Jones casually goes back, holds on. David Freese hits the oppo. A.J. Burnett on hand with his kids. Pirates lead 4-1. Head to the bottom half of inning number 6. Andrew McCutchen close. And Adam Jones, his good buddy, goes up to get it.
Yeah. Looking straight on. I wasn't sure if that had the distance, but it did. And Kutch gave his buddy a little shove as he ran by for taking away what could have been a home run. Could have been a close one. AJ thought it was gone.
Seth Smith homered in the first, reached on an error in the third. One and one on the 34-year-old veteran, former second-round pick of the Rockies back in 2004 out of Ole Miss.
That fastball had a little bit of tail on it. Moving right back to the plate.
13 out of 19 first pitch strikes for Nova tonight. Into shallow center. So one down here in the bottom of the 6th with the Buccos up 4-1. Point Park University tweets reacting to Exercise Lady. Jody loves Exercise Lady. Bob says to Bob Walk, I think that is Jane Fonda.
Yeah, you could be very, very right about that.
And Scott thanks Exercise Lady.
Oh,
she's the Pirates.
She's getting serious about
rally Exercise Lady, yeah.
She's keeping an eye over there.
Well, Watson's got up there early.
Yeah, I think they're just messing with her. I mean, they're coming up with this. What are we going to do now?
Yep. And the key is not to give it away. Oh, yeah.
Oh, she's doing it. I like it.
Diving knockdown by Harrison. It'll be a base hit for Jones. Well, J.A. would have loved to have robbed Jones of a hit.
That would have been a tough one to throw him out with it. Diving up the middle.
I know, but I was just thinking for Andrew McCutcheon's sake.
Did you see what Jones is like? What do you think you're doing?
Yep. They were teammates on Team USA, the World Baseball Classic that won it all. Adam Jones.
Okay.
What are you doing?
He's going to say, who are you going to throw out?
Yeah. Now Machado. Adam Jones, the all-time home run leader here at Oriole Park. Nova falls behind Machado 2-0.
That's all right, because now Machado, he's ahead in the count. He's going to be thinking pull. And hopefully we'll see another ground ball on the left side and another double play.
Fly ball to left.
Had me worried for a moment. Jones tagging. Frazier not being fooled by that. Quickly gets it in.
Machado flies out to left. It brings up Mark Trumbo. Machado disappointed. 0 for 3. DH Mark Trumbo. Trumbo, the major league leader in home runs last year with 47, had 108 RBIs. His second year with the Orioles. 4 years in a row now, the Orioles have had a player lead the majors in homers. Trumbo last year. Chris Davis 2 years ago. Nelson Cruz led the majors in homers in 2014, and Chris Davis also led the major leagues in home runs in 2013. And now Nova out in front. 0-2 on Trumbo.
Well, going back to those 70s teams, Greg, 71, 79 teams we were talking about earlier, that's always been the theme here, the 3-run homer.
Yeah.
They have loved to build their offense around that concept, and still doing it nowadays.
Earl Weaver's favorite play in baseball, the 3-run homer, the longtime Orioles manager.
A lot of teams have joined them in that concept.
Meanwhile, Nova looking to get through at least 6 innings, leading here 4-1. Earl Weaver, all-time winningest manager in Orioles history.
Goes back to us. He must be arguing with an umpire.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Buck Showalter in his 8th year as the skipper of the Baltimore Orioles.
There's number 4.
Earl Weaver won 1,480 games. Showalter at 576. Nova, as we said, needs another out for another at least 6-inning performance. It's been over 30 years since a Pirates pitcher has begun the season. In fact, Rick Russell, the last to do this. 6 or more innings, his first 12 starts. Pirates lead going to the 7th inning. Showed you that note. Ivan Nova is the first pitcher for the Pirates to begin a season 12 straight starts of 6 or more innings since 1985, and no reason to think he won't give the Pirates at least another inning or two. Let's see if the Bucs can add on John Jaso, Francisco Cervelli, and Jordy Mercer. Now, the one thing I would think that Clint Hurdle will be watching, he's got a pretty rested bullpen, except with a couple days off, and probably doesn't want to have Nova's ERA take any more of a hit as it did. That one game, looks as though Nova was really anxious to get a complete game against the Braves 2 starts back in Atlanta. We'll see how it goes. As Jaso goes down on strikes, is number 6 for Gausman, and brings up Cervelli. Cervelli fireworks will light up the Pittsburgh skyline and come early for a Barrel Kia block party on Federal Street with Bob Friend signing autographs, and then the Buccos and Marlins meet at 7:05. Watch Cervelli fireworks courtesy of PPG. Go to pirates.com/fireworks. Get your tickets. 3-2. I think Jaso certainly fooled me, fooled some others. The way he reacted to that previous strike, looked like he was walking toward his dugout, but gets another shot and singles to left field with the third baseman well off the line. So John Jaso begins the Pirates' 7th inning with a base hit to left. His second hit of the ball game. He doubled in a run in the second. Leadoff hit for Jaso. And now Cervelli.
We're going to have a special guest next half inning, Kurt.
Special guest next half inning?
Special guest next half inning. Just step in. Somebody from your past. All of our past. He's sitting right in between us here. He will be. He's not there yet. I don't see him.
A mystery guest?
Mystery guest.
Can I try to guess who the guest is? Or no? I prefer I not.
No, let's just be a surprise.
That's a good idea.
I think it's.
It's not exercise lady.
No, she's too far away.
Oh.
I think she's a little tired right now. All the bullpen guys sit down.
They're tired. I figure, okay, enough. We've had enough of this.
You know, if they're paying attention out there, they're gonna, like, they see her sit down like that. You can say, hey, somebody's jumping jacks.
Get up. Yeah.
Who's going to do jumping jacks?
Yep.
You can't give her a break. Oh, she's up.
Yep, there's an Oriole reliever up doing that. There goes Jaso. Going to be out by quite a bit. Well, they were right to pay attention. They figured something might be up.
Well, in that scenario, Greg, I would think this could be a hit and run. 1-0 count, good hit and run count. Jaso not really much of a straight stealer, and right there in the replay you can see him. Watch him look over his shoulder the whole time. He's looking to see where the ball is hit. Yeah, I think that was a hit and run. And it ended up being just a run.
Oh, nice play, Machado. Manny Machado.
That was a beautiful play, and on that one there, he really showed off that arm of his.
Two-time Gold Glover. Orioles fans get a chance to see him every night. He makes special plays. time and time again, and that was special.
Watch the throw, flat-footed, a little sidearm, and he just
like it was nothing.
Puts it over there on a line and a perfect strike. Look at that.
Sheesh.
That's an arm.
Machado robs Cervelli of extra bases. Mercer had an extra base hit in the 5th. He doubled. Picked up an RBI in the 2nd. And now 0-2, and you see the pitch count for Gausman at 110. Mercer batting average up to 267. Donnie Hart loosens in the bullpen. Adam Frazier on deck. Again, the Orioles have lost 10 of their last 14. They're coming off a series split, a 4-gamer against the Red Sox, and there's a base hit. Those are 2 more hits.
He is really starting to build up some fine offensive numbers.
That's 8 hits in his last 17 at bats. And that is going to be it. With the Frazier coming to the plate, he's going to go to the lefty, Donnie Hart. Gausman will leave trailing 4-1 and responsible for Mercer, and we'll be back. For more here, and just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Full moon night here in Baltimore, the first of this 2-game interleague series. Pirates began the road trip by taking 2 of 3 against the Mets. Tonight, tomorrow night, and then home. The 4-game series against the Marlins starts Thursday night. Rookie lefty Donnie Hart.
You can see Hart's numbers on the year. This will be a little tester for Frazier, and he's really good at hanging in on left-hand pitchers, especially for a young guy. I mean, he gives no ground at all. Hart not only left-handed, but he'll give him that sidearm look, and that makes it even a little more difficult for those left-hand hitters that don't see a lot of lefties anyway. Just in case, Mercer was kind of trying and sneak in a scoring position with 2 outs. Pirates have not had a lot of success running. Sidearm delivery. Not a lot of movement out of Frazier on that one. You can watch his front side, and it's locked in. It does not bail.
One ball, one strike on Adam Frazier. Frazier lined out to start this ball game, struck out in the second, grounded out his last time up.
Trying to throw that ball inside and trying to set him up for breaking ball off the plate away. Couldn't stick it in there. That's the pitch that he wanted to get him out with right there. Trying to try and set him up for that. But that's why he goes fastball inside to begin with.
Lefties are hitting .310 off Donnie Hart, by the way. Righties .325.
What are you trying to say, man?
Is that a nice way of saying that?
No,
Everybody's kind of hitting him?
I know what you're trying to say. You did a very good job of it.
Jeff Branson, Pirates hitting coach, talking to pitching coach Ray Searage.
Donnie Hart is in relation to old Wild Bill Hart.
You should know. Or William S. Hart?
Yeah, I'll have to look that up.
Ooh.
That'll teach you not to give ground on a lefty. Wow, getting out of the way of that one. Even though Hart doesn't throw very, very hard, that'll still make an impression.
Roger McDowell now out. Veteran pitching coach. 2 on, 2 outs. Josh Harrison at the plate. Again, the rookie Donnie Hart got some big league time in last year, made 22 appearances. From Flusher, Texas. 27th round pick in 2013 out of Texas State. And Ubaldo Jimenez moves into the bullpen now. Jay Hay 0 for 3. And a 2-0 count.
A little afraid of the bat there,
Yeah.
isn't he? You know, righties are hitting you 350 something, and you're not getting lefties out. What do you do, Glenn?
Three and 0.
Walk the bases loaded. Is that the your fallback position? Wants to go after Polanco. There's a base open, but it's third.
Four-pitch walk.
Why didn't they just give him a point by?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, other than throw 4 pitches in a row, a foot and a half off the plate, just say take your base. Mercer third. That'd be Frazier out of second base. And Jay just got the fake point by.
Well, Polanco now with the bases loaded. And the Pirates leading 4-1. A big hit could just about put this one away. Not suggesting that this game is over by any stretch. The Orioles have a high-octane offense that would go a long way toward putting this one away. And a strike is called on him.
Well, we got some high-octane pitchers that can come out and help Nova if he needs it. So
yeah,
I'd feel pretty good with a base hit here.
Oh, I'm not saying I wouldn't feel good with a base hit. Definitely would feel good with a hit. Bouncing ball, and Scope scoops, throws, and gets. And the Pirates do not get a run, but they do lead it by 3. Burnett, Samantha. Pirates game is like a senior ex who moved on. Looks great. Amy says, still my favorite Pirate pitcher. Bucko Vicky. Can you get him in the booth to do some play-by-play? Well, we've got him in the booth.
Fans, man, gotta love it.
We got the Burnett's. Ashton and AJ Jr. here too with AJ.
Oh, so y'all messing up my man, bro. Oh, there we go. There we go.
There, you got it good now.
It's better.
There you are.
All right, come on. I'm not going to leave the booth.
Oh, man.
Well, you know what? That's what we talked about earlier, that you can't get comfortable here.
Yeah.
Because Nova fires tons of strikes, and the solo home run is always going to be staring at you the rest of this game. But that's just one run. But it would have been nice with the bases loaded, as you were talking about, Greg, to get that single and
Scratch on the draw.
push it up to 6-1. But it didn't happen. So
Chris Davis hits his 13th to make it 4-2.
a change-up. Oh, my glasses on. Was that 83 or 93?
83.
Change-up. You threw about, what, 2 or 3 of those a game? Keep your dad happy?
Yeah, right. You remember that? I think the last couple games I had to throw more. So that's what
as you get older, you kind of like,
couldn't get it by him anymore.
You know, I'm sure you remember me saying this to you last year you were playing. No.
Wow, back to back. Scope's night. It's 4-3.
That'll throw up a little red flag, perhaps. There will be at least a visit from Ray here, you would think. Yep. Hanging breaking ball. But I was just about to talk about the breaking ball. As we're seeing, this one just kind of like roll up there. It was even higher than the strike zone. Tomahawked out of here.
Todd Tomczyk is coming out to check on him. Pirates head trainer.
Well, apparently, Cervelli may have saw something there and called him out. Only given up 3 base hits until this inning. There was nothing really that.
It's going to be enough. This hit. Get him out of there. Any doubt, just get him out.
Well, Nicasio had been warming up, so it won't take him long. Hopefully, there's nothing serious going on.
Well, we have those questions. I wanted to ask AJ while he was still out there. You know, you pitched with Nova in New York. You've seen a lot of games this year at all of Nova?
I've watched a few here and there.
What do you think the difference is?
He's just found a place to be him.
It's kind of like you. You found your place to be you.
Relax
he told
and
me
be
last
yourself.
year, you know, I saw him when we were at Philly. He was, man, I love it here. I like it here a lot. You know, I'm able to just play baseball. And I was like, yeah, you know, you can. That's what Ray. You know, you're talking about Ray. That's what makes him so good. He just lets guys be themselves.
Yeah.
You know, you tweak something here or there. We'll work on something. You find something that's really wrong, we'll work on it. But hey, go out there and then find Nova and just do what Nova can do. That's what he told me when I came here. If you go out there and be AJ, don't do anything else. Like, you sure?
Well, the thing I think that he does strongly encourage you guys, anybody that's velocity on your curveball was something special, and the command of that curveball, be able to throw it for a strike.
Right.
Maybe the fastball you lost something, but the hook was still in the low 80s.
It stayed tight spin.
Yeah,
thank
very
goodness.
tight.
You know, the same thing. I help AJ out. I coach Ashton too, but they're still a little young for it. But they all have these big loopy, slow curveballs. And I'm like, man, you need to throw that harder. Now you need to throw where it's hard, not slow, so they can recognize that hump and hit it. And they asked me about mine. I was like, I just do it as hard as I could.
Yeah.
You know, over the plate, down. You know.
But that's the kind of the fly in the ointment, is throw it as hard as you can, but not bouncing a foot and a half out in front of home plate.
Right. You gotta I want everything to look like my fastball.
Yeah.
You know, best I can. I don't want something slower. And that's funny you said that, because I throw one of his catchers. This is high school, like 15 pitches after every practice. I throw them the first curveball, and they're always like 40 feet way over there. And I'm like, hey, some guys swing at that. Okay, don't laugh, because I've seen some people swing at that.
Yeah,
but they're always 0-2 right out of the gate.
It gets worse, believe me, as you get further away. After about 10 years out, you throw that. You say, yeah, I'm going to throw a hook, and you end up throwing straight to the ground. Yeah, it just won't come out of the hand.
Juan Nicasio in there now for Nova.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed that the Nova coming out of the game, just a precaution. Nothing, as we said earlier, as the game went along, you didn't see anything. He was doing very well, only giving up with the 1 run on 3 hits to that point.
Yeah, the first leadoff guy, right? Yeah.
Trey Mancini.
He was always fun to be around, man. When I was with him in New York, he was kind of like Locke and Garrett are to me. You know, when I was here, that's how he was like his first year up. We just hit it right on.
Jeff's going to be pitching against us next
Worley too, and Volker.
Yeah. I said it's going to be like a bunch of inter-squad games in a row.
I actually talked to him about a week ago. He said he's getting back, getting better.
He did very well his first time out.
Yep. Well, I told him, I was like, heck, if you can beat me, you can beat anybody out there. He did give me. Don't let him live it down. That and the fact that I didn't throw him a curveball haunts me at night.
Now, I'm disappointed that Robbie asked you and you shut the door on this comeback that I've been trying to get, but so I won't shut the comeback down. But have you thought at all about two things: getting back into the game somehow, coaching, because you seem to love it. You certainly love doing it with your kids.
Yeah.
And what about this having a headset on? You like announcing?
I don't mind it. I just, I'm not.
It's going to mess up your hair, though.
Well, yeah, that for sure. But
we'd have to fix something there. I don't know what we could do.
I don't know if you remember, I'm not really a guy with a filter, so I'm not sure if I could pull this off.
We can do delays.
Yeah, we'll put it on delay.
I have to get a beeper, but no, I do. I enjoy being around it. I see myself getting in the game again for sure. I did actually consider it very strong. I'm trying to come back. I didn't tell anybody the truth. I haven't done anything in about a year and a half. So that's why I haven't come back. Because I go in the weight room and work out one day, and I can't move for the next week. So I'm like, why do it? But it's the best I've felt in 20 years. I've run with AJ here and there. We do shoulder stuff. That's the only thing I've done. Feel great. But I think I can get back in it for sure. I think once these guys once they get out of high school, get moving on, and then Karen's tired of me, which she probably is already. Maybe get into coaching or something.
Nicasio trying to get in a big out to settle things down.
Don't coach, manage.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
It would be.
That would be unbelievable.
That would be a treat, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
That's where a no filter works.
Right. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That would be unbelievable. Have you ever thought about managing?
I mean, I haven't thought about it, but I think it'd be fun. I've been around some guys that we've talked about it here and there, but that's down the road for sure.
Well, that would be a classic.
Remember how long it's been since we've been in Cleveland?
Yeah,
I told him in Cleveland that someday you should
manage. That's right. I
that.
remember that. Yeah, well, speaking of skippers, I talked to her for a while today down in the room. He seems to be doing all right. We had about a 15-20 minute catch up, and things are good.
Picking people's brains and stuff.
I'm just glad it's not limping around everywhere. I told him that. It's so nice to see you walking, man.
It was painful to watch him go to the mound. This will be out number 2. So Nicasio has settled things down with a strikeout and a bouncer, and Caleb Joseph will come up. And so honest assessment now of Ashton and AJ Jr. in terms of their playing abilities.
They both pitch.
They both need to listen to Daddy more. That's for sure. I'm just kidding. No, they do great. He plays second base and pitches a little bit, and he does the exact same thing. So
really,
yeah,
nice. That's great. And they're fired up.
Do I have to tell them about your French Bulldog?
Uh-oh.
Well, we got a French Bulldog named after Ashton's favorite player, which is Walker.
Whoa, we got a mic here. Now, wait a second.
Yeah.
So Ashton, you got a French Bulldog recently.
Yeah, I got a French Bulldog, and his name is Walker.
Why wouldn't it be, right? The real deal.
Named after Neil Walker.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. That is great.
I tried to name an AJ, but he wouldn't have another AJ in the house.
Is Neil aware, by the way, of this? Yeah. Neil Walker.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, good. Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks a million, man.
Yep.
We're going to pitch each tape. We'll be back.
is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, Blackout, and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Wow,
that is way too good.
I could never read that.
That's unbelievable. He didn't even. We surprised him 2
dropped
seconds.
it on him just seconds ago, and he just boom,
No
put it right
practice.
out. Very good. Yeah. You know,
Wow.
I've always said
You
this.
can tell
Greg.
it's Karen's son.
I've always said this, that what you guys do is so easy.
Yeah.
That anybody could read promos.
Wow, that is incredible. Well done. My gosh.
Thank you.
Now,
Felipe
you're about
Rivero.
to see a very talented pitcher out on the mound right now. Felipe Rivero has really come into his own this year. Has become one of the more dominant pitchers in all of baseball. You look at his numbers, he's hitting just 165. I mean, it has been amazing to watch him pitch. Last time out, through a lot of 100, 101s, 102s. Clint has gone to the whip here in this inning. He wants to put an end to it right now.
Joey Rickard is the pinch hitter. With Caleb Joseph on first. He singled off Nicasio after leadoff home runs from Chris Davis and Jonathan Scope. Made it a 1-run ball game. Rivero trying to get the final out of the 7th. And goes to the breaking pitch. It's 1-1.
Pretty firm.
Earlier in the game, they had it's in the seats. Foul. It was a Twitter Tuesday. One of the questions of Rivera was about how's it make him feel when he throws the ball over 100 miles an hour. And he says he likes to look at the hitters' faces after they look at the scoreboard and see that the last pitch was 101.
I bet he does. I bet he does. Good old days.
He goes, it makes a difference for him. And I can imagine it would, especially for the guy in the on-deck circle, to be looking up there and seeing 101, 102.
There's not many people be like, hey, let me hit.
Yeah.
Let me hit right now, please.
1-2. Rivero tries to get the last out here in the bottom of the 7th. He does.
100.
There you are. And the Burnett's, awesome to see. A.J. Ashton and A.J.
Lot,
Jr. Man, you guys are the best.
We'll see you when you get to Pittsburgh.
Right. See you in the Berg
man.
soon.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
The Bucks lead by 1. Shots from tonight's game. The music of the Clarks coming to Stage AE June 24th. It's now a one-run ball game. Felipe Rivero got that last out. 100 miles an hour. See if the Pirates can get some insurance now here. Joey Rickard stays in the game. He is in right field. And now Michael Givens takes over.
See, his numbers are pretty darn good. The ERA down very low, 5-0 record, in the opponent batting average at just .219. Slings a 95-mile-an-hour fastball across for strike one. Well, that was a lot of fun, Greg. Burnett's in.
That really was. He is a character of the game.
Yep.
You know.
See, his body fat's all the way up to 1% now. Well, he's
talking about how out of shape he is.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What are you talking about? Oh, authority there. Let's go back to the studios. Paul Alexander has a game break. Wow, thank you, Paul. That impressive. Scooter Gennett.
That's a night.
Cincinnati native helping the Reds to that big lead. And a rough night for Adam Wainwright. He gives up 9 runs in 3 2/3 innings. On Bell. Andrew McCutchen on deck. Taking all the way.
All right, 3-1. Got a hard thrower out on the mound. Swing early.
Or don't swing at all. Drop a walk.
Keyhole on something, a certain spot to be charging fastball if you get it. So you can drive it hard somewhere, maybe over the fence. But if they're going to mess around and walk you, take your base.
McCutchen 1 for 3 against Kevin Gausman. He gave up 4 in 6 2/3 innings. That ball gets on these guys in a hurry. Michael Givens.
When he struck out Freese was 99. All of his fastballs have, to this point, since he came in the ball game, have been between 95 and 99. 95, he just threw one of those.
Drafted as a shortstop by the Orioles in the 2nd round out of a Tampa high school.
Kind of has a shortstop release point.
This is just his 4th year of pitching.
Well, he's got a lot of ammunition left.
Yeah. 2nd full season in the major leagues. Roger McDowell, the Orioles pitching coach, watching Givens, this Orioles bullpen. It's been pretty solid, even without their closer. I'm looking.
Certainly a different look for these right-hand hitters to see that kind of velocity coming from such a low arm slot. Kind of reminds me of the first time I ever saw Lee Smith at AAA. He threw almost everything from very low 3/4, and as everyone knows, was one of the big power pitchers of the time. When they got to the big leagues, they got him a little bit more up on top. But I can remember what an impression it made to see somebody throw so low, and so, you know, I mean, low as far as the arm slot, and so hard as far as the velocity.
Gibbons, a couple of strikeouts and a walk. 29 innings, 29 strikeouts, and he's walked 11. Jaso has 2 hits. Cervelli on deck. Struck him out looking. For $3.
Is brought to you by Barrel. Visit our brand new Kia showroom in Wexford. More vehicles than ever at the very best prices. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Now it is 4-3. Bucks lead the Orioles. Baltimore got back-to-back leadoff homers from Chris Davis and Jonathan Scope. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Clint Hurdle came out alongside head trainer Todd Tomczyk talking to Nova. And they decided to pull the Pirates starter. Their fingers are crossed that it is nothing serious. No word yet from Pirates clubhouse as to the extent of that injury. Now Felipe Rivero trying to get 3 more outs here in the 8th. and get it to Watson.
Well, I can tell you what he had.
You mean discomfort, right?
Yeah.
Oh. And one away.
Shortstop arm slot. They all have to have that little sidearm thing from their toolbox.
Good tool to have.
Yep.
Felipe Rivero will face now Manny Machado and then Mark Trumbo.
Machado has that. He's third baseman.
Jones, okay, he might be limping a little bit. The big cut. Machado thought he was going to get the fastball.
Well, when the guy throws over 100, you got to kind of take an educated guess, I think, if you're really going to do well. Change up. And now Machado's gone.
Now what do I do?
Oh, it's like, are you serious? Oh. 1-on-1. You see, I mean, that's just not fair, right? If somebody does click it up to where they're just sitting on 100, they're like, okay, as soon as he lets go, if it's a strike, I'm swinging. Then he's got the other stuff. The great changeup, breaking balls. I mean, it's not just a one-trick pony by far.
Allegheny Health Network super mode from that look down low. Machado 0 for 4. Trumbo 0 for 2 with a walk. Ivan Nova went 6+. 3 runs, 7 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 3 solo home runs. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Trumbo came over from the Mariners in a deal in December of 2015, a former 18th round pick of the Angels in 2004. Pirates got Felipe Rivero last summer from the Nationals for Mark Melanson. Center fielder Andrew McCutcheon. And Felipe Rivero faces 4 batters, retires each. Go to the 9th, up by 1. some insurance. Have Francisco Cervelli, Jordy Mercer, and Adam Frazier due up. Felipe Rivero 4 up and 4 down.
How about the way the crowd reacted to a routine fly ball?
Yeah.
It was like a great victory.
Yes.
But that's
true.
That's how it kind of is when Rivero's out there. Somebody hit a fly ball off of him. It's almost like he gave in and said, okay, I'm going to throw you a curveball for a strike here so you can put it in play. But anyway, there's Darren O'Day. His numbers. Point batting average at 200, 23 games. Another side armor. It's 3 in a row they've brought out that have thrown 1 from the port side, 2 from the starboard.
Bob Scooter Jeanette has hit his 4th home run of the game.
One of the great power hitters of our time.
Josh Hamilton, the last major league player to hit 4 home runs in a game.
Oh, man. That'll move you up to your home run list, won't it?
Wow.
What inning are they in? Is he going to get another bat?
They're in the. It's after 8 innings. Tony Watson, Pirates closer, getting ready. Cervelli 0 for 3. Two and 2. Ivan Nova removed from tonight's game because of left knee inflammation. Oh, that is what we normally get.
Yeah, that was. I guess just because he's a pitcher, you always assume something's up with the arm and the knee.
So 1 down as O'Day strikes out Cervelli.
Down under to. I thought that was going to be higher than that. That was pretty much right down the middle. Live, I thought that ball was upstairs, but it was just belt high.
Jordy Mercer 2 out of 3 with an RBI. And 0-2. Chris Davis, Jonathan Scope, Trey Mancini due up in the bottom of the 9th. Adam Frazier next. Pirates scored 3 in the 2nd inning. Got a home run from David Freese in the 6th. Look at this. Ah, it doesn't get past Davis.
That would have been the ultimate smart hitting.
Yeah.
Because he was guiding that ball. He would have been able to maybe hit the bag with it and have it bounce off into foul territory. When he hit that, he thought, no, that's foul ball. But the spin that he put on it actually took it back the other direction. How about that?
Adam Frazier 0 for 3 and has been hit by a pitch.
Needs a hit here to stay up above the 300 mark.
Tony Watson with Cletus Rojas watching over. Andrew McCutchen, John Jaso, and Jordy Mercer with RBIs in the second inning. Pirates began that second inning with base hits from David Freese, Josh Bell, and Andrew McCutchen, and then John Jaso an RBI double. Mercer ground out to make it 3-1. The Birds scored their first run on a home run by Seth Smith, leading off the bottom of the first against Devon Nova. Freese's home run in the sixth, his sixth of the season, over the right field wall, made it 4-1, and then the bottom of the seventh, back-to-back leadoff home runs from Chris Davis, his 13th, Jonathan Scope, his 9th. Devon Nova was taken out of the game. Left knee inflammation. Veteran Darren O'Day battling Adam Frazier. Lefty Donnie Hart hit him with a pitch his last time up.
Just a little inside. Good eye. That's a tough one to lay off of. He thought about it. Watch the bat. No.
Full count. Saw Josh Harrison on deck. And Frazier will reach. Quite a battle there. Adam Frazier draws the walk. Now O'Day will face Josh Harrison, looking for his first hit tonight.
I would think that Frazier would be moving along if he thinks he's got to jump. I'm sure he has a green light here with 2 outs. Pirates would love to have him at second base here. Single would give him a little insurance for the bottom of the ninth. Not a big league, kind of modest, but he is out a little bit beyond the cut of the grass. Of course, the Orioles, they know the situation. Know he wants to run. See where the cutout of the grass begins right here. One of the little markers that a base runner will use, kind of measure his lead. His peripheral vision, as he's watching that pitcher, he can kind of see where the grass comes out.
And normally, do you get better jumps on guys that pitch from sidearm or down under? Or does it matter?
I don't think that really matters much. I mean, you can still have a nice slide step, even if you're a sidearmer.
Almost looked like a pitch out there.
That wasn't real quick to the plate there. All the little dipping and everything, that takes time.
Years with the Orioles for Darren O'Day, came to the big leagues with Texas, one-time closer at the University of Florida. And there goes Frazier. And that ball hit toward left center field, and Jones can't get there. Big time insurance. Josh Harrison headed to third, and he's going to be there with a triple to give the Pirates a 2-run lead in the ninth.
Nicely done. Of course, even if Frazier wasn't running on the pitch, he'll score easily on this. But this little breaking ball, little slider right down the middle, and J-Hay all over it. Adam Jones, one of the best, couldn't even come close to it.
Gap shot for J-Hay. Now just a matter of whether it's 2 or 3.
Oh, he knows it's 3. Look at him turning it on right there. Now he's going to back off a little bit and let the celebration begin on that insurance run. He loves it when he gets to third base because he can talk to the dugout.
Second triple of the season for Harrison. Time for Polanco to get his first hit, and he'll cash in with 2 outs. Polanco struck out in the first, walked against Gausman in the third, struck out to start the 6th, and then he faced lefty Donnie Hart with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the 7th.
You know,
Jonathan Scope robbed him of a hit.
Kind of interesting. They almost intentionally, it looked like an intentional walk at J-Hay, didn't it?
4-pitch
to
walk,
load the bases so they could go lefty on lefty. Polanco, here they have first base open, and they're not putting him on to go right-hander on right-hander with Freeze with 2 outs here. Taking a chance.
Darren O'Day gives up an insurance run here in the 9th. Frazier battled the walk. Is that our man?
He's getting revved up now. This is his second thing of cotton candy, and he switched from blue to pink, and that my friends, is why we get the insurance run.
You don't see any yawning now.
The insurance run home because he switched to the pink. That always helps. Stay away from that blue cotton candy. Remember earlier he was eating blue. You saw that?
Yep.
And that was when the Orioles were scoring their 2 runs.
He seems happy with the blue.
Well, you know, he doesn't
really happy with it. That was at 6:40.
No, that couldn't have been 6:40. That's not true.
6:40 p.m.
Right. Well, you can type any number you want in there.
Oh,
It's just typing.
Come on, that's. You think they would do that?
That was
in the
when, that was in the bottom of the 7th. That's what that blue was.
Strike 3 called, but the Pirates get one. And we will head to the bottom of the 9th. Tony Watson tries to close it out. Against Wade Miley. Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason starts at 6:30. Here on Root Sports, they came all the way from Latrobe to root for the Pirates.
With their Oriole jersey. That's right.
Nicholas is impersonating Exercise Lady now.
That's just the sugar going to work, Rick. That's all that is.
Now watches as Tony Watson.
Tony looking for his 11th save and what will be 14th prize.
Chris Davis homered to start the 7th inning off Ivan Nova. Pirates just 1-7 here at Oriole Park in Camden Yards.
Yeah, just see how far inside that pitch was?
I did not.
That he swung at for the first pitch?
Wow. Just taking a look here.
Look at that.
Look at the distance between those two pitches.
Here's the thing about it. It's 2 runs down. He can hit a ball off the warehouse, and it doesn't matter right now. They're looking for base runners. He should really be taking a strike. He's 0-2. Can't believe he didn't swing that one.
Yeah.
But that first pitch was amazing.
No golfer didn't. Chris Davis struck out looking in the 4th. Again, 88 strikeouts this season. Most in the major leagues. the inning with a base hit.
That's the first strike he saw. This is the first one in the zone that he saw that at bat. Might have got a little bit in on it.
Jonathan Scope, 1 for 3 with a home run.
I got a call there, huh?
Game. Jonathan Scope hits his second of the game and 10th of the year to tie it.
That's what I think. Changeup.
Wow. To left. For Mancini. All the way.
Scope dealt when I left his back. Stood there in the batter's box for a moment, admiring it. Good 10 rows back. You can see the changeup grip.
Well, there's just no question that Tony Watson is not as dominant, and he was absolutely dominant as a setup man for whatever reason. Ken Hurdle has been asked about it. Freeze comes in and gets Hardy. Jonathan Scope, who hit 25 home runs last year, drove an 82 as a second baseman, ties the game with his 10th and second of the night. And for Tony Watson, his 4th blown save. He's now allowed 5 home runs in 25 innings. So with that, Brad Brock gets up.
The better velocity fastballs we've seen out of Tony. Went through the speed trap at 94. Backed it up with another one at 94.
Watson last year an ERA of 3.06. Became the closer after the trade of Melanson. held up there by the home plate umpire, Mike Estabrook.
Staggered him. Estabrook's calling to the bench, wanted somebody to come out, and it almost looked like Cervelli was going to fall over sideways after that one. Right there, Estabrook is definitely holding him up.
That definitely rattled him. Ben Potenziano going through some questions now for Cervelli. A lot of concern these days about concussions, of course. Definitely dazed.
Yep, look at him grab a hold of Estabrook's
pant leg there.
Pant leg there, yeah.
Well, yes, Diaz is getting ready just in case.
What kind of questions do you think Ben was asking him about?
You ever gone through that protocol at all?
Oh, I thought maybe the love connection questions. Once from the scoreboard.
They're going to take him out of the ball game.
Yeah,
they did not answer the questions to their satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you go back years, just maybe a decade, and think how many catchers were taking those shots all the time, and nobody really paid any attention to them.
John Jaso, of course, doesn't catch anymore because of the concussions. Clint Hurdle said when asked about an emergency catcher, he's not going to do it. Jaso.
The look on his face right there, I think, told the story. I mean, he was having a hard time not just laying down after taking that hit. The ball, it looked like it kind of got right on the, almost like the point of his chin, and it was kind of coming up into him. Really like taking a punch right on the point of your chin. So the ball leaves the bat and kind of goes up and right there in the chin. And it's not slowing down much, so whatever, I mean, Watson says he's throwing it at 94, it's probably going, what, 88 at the plate.
A hard shot to the mass for sure. 0-2 the count on Caleb Joseph, the Orioles catcher. And a swing and a miss. Well, it appeared to be anyway, the way, no, Joseph must have thought that ball might go fair. It sounded like it hit, after it hit the bat, like it hit Diaz.
Had that funny spin on it. Didn't want to take any chances.
Now he goes down on strikes. But a base hit for Chris Davis and a 2-run homer for Jonathan Scope. Tied at 5, heading to extras. Batter that Ivan Nova faced was Seth Smith. This home run, his 6th of the year, gave the Orioles a 1-0 lead. Pirates score 3 in the second. Andrew McCutchen fights off that pitch and singles in a run. John Jaso then doubled home Josh Bell after a ground out brought in the 3rd run. David Freese's homer, his 6th of the year in the 6th inning, made it 4-1. And then leading off the bottom of the 7th inning, Chris Davis against Nova launches his 13th of the year. Jonathan Scope, the next batter. It's his 9th of the season. It's a 1-run game, and that would be it for Noby, left with knee inflammation. Pirates got a very important insurance run home in the top of the 9th on the RBI triple by Josh Harrison. Jonathan Scope, after Chris Davis had singled on a 2-2 pitch, 2nd home run in as many at-bats to tie it off Tony Watson, 5-5, going extras here in Baltimore. Brad Brock took over the closer's role for Zach Britton.
He hadn't been giving up very many hits. Opponent batting average very low. What's the tail of the tape on Brock, right? Looks like he's up there in 6'6" range.
215. Funky motion.
Yeah. It's kind of the hallmark of this bullpen.
Different looks.
Not a lot of conventional deliveries. Throws low across his body. Steps about where the on deck circle is for the Pirates, and then delivers the ball home. Here it is. Right, he steps over, points his toe over where Bell was, and then fires the ball toward the catcher. There you can see the foot kind of lands almost a little sideways, and then he spins on his heel.
Pirates are 5-4 in extra innings. The Orioles are 7-1. 4-0 here.
That's where I think, Greg, the team with home run power has a little bit of an advantage. Extra innings. A team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, to get 1 run across, they have to build an inning. It might take 3 hits to get that 1 run home. Whereas the guys like the Orioles, teams that have a lot of power up and down their lineup, just takes 1 swing to end the game in extra innings. I'm not surprised that they have a pretty good record. Fastball getting in on Bell's hands.
So Goslin, he might be called upon, but really with the DH, a lot of pinch hitting involved. Three and two. Andrew McCutchen will be next. Will Bell be on for him? Slaps it to third. 2 outs.
Quick reaction, catching the line drive, and now with 2 outs, touch to hit one into those right center field bleachers. Those fastballs up and away.
And backhanded by Hardy. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates. Wade LeBlanc will be coming on the pitch. Tenth inning, Nicholas hanging in there. He's got the sunglasses on. Stick around.
He said, "I'll stay another inning if you buy me some more cotton candy."
Yeah, let's go get some, Dad. Head on up. Some of that blue cotton candy. Wade LeBlanc going to try and get this to the 11th inning.
Wade pitching very well all year. We're proud of those numbers. He's the Swiss Army knife for the bullpen. Very flexible. Do anything you want.
So now Joey Rickard, pinch hit in the 7th and stayed in the game to play right. Pinch hit against Felipe Rivero and struck out to end that 7th inning. In a bit. And Freese will make the play on the backhand, and on the other end is John Jaso.
Jaso's come a long way in 12 months, hasn't he?
Sure has.
The second ball he's picked out of the dirt tonight. Saved the fellow infielder.
John Jaso makes the pick on the freeze throw. Now Adam Jones. He's back.
No cotton candy. They must have been out.
Back to see his Buccos. .32-year-old Wade LeBlanc. It's the 31-year-old from San Diego, Adam Jones. The Orioles got Jones from the Seattle Mariners. A deal that involved Eric Bedard going from Baltimore to the Mariners in February of 2008. The Pirates got Wade LeBlanc from Seattle last year. On deck, Manny Machado. And this could be extra bases. Frazier will hold Jones to a single.
Get to it quickly and get the ball in. Once that runner, whoever it is, as he runs around the bag at first base, when you see the ball already coming in, you have to stop and go back. That's always the key, is a quick release out there.
Machado has a dozen home runs. Tonight 0 for 4. See the career numbers against LeBlanc, 0 for 3.
It's a beautiful pitch. I mean, if he gets around on that and hits it, he's gonna pull a foul. Tough one to keep fair and hit it hard. But there's a fine line right there. Another 3 or 4 inches inside. He's gonna take it for a ball. A couple inches out over the plate. Good one to keep fair and hit hard. So you got to make the perfect pitch when you're going in there.
Nova started, went 6+. Juan Nicasio got 2 outs in the 7th. Felipe Rivera 1 in the 3rd. Perfect. Tony Watson gave up 2 in the 9th. And now LeBlanc, 3rd batter he's faced in the 10th. And of course, he's working with young catcher Elias Diaz. Francisco Cervelli left last inning. Foul ball off the catcher's mask.
What will they throw next? Nope, nope. Yeah, okay.
Still 1-2 on Machado, who last year had 37 homers, drove in 96 runs, hit .294, finished 5th in the American League MVP voting. His former first-round pick 7 years ago. LeBlanc shaking off another.
Little fastball in, it looks like was the call.
To left. And Frazier right there. Jones will tag and move up 90 feet. But the game is still tied. Inches away from winning it was Manny Machado.
It was high enough. Frazier had plenty of time to get back there, playing no doubles anyway. Back up against the wall, reaching the top of the fence. I don't believe he even jumped.
Just reached up.
Nice heads-up play by Adam Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, well, if it's not a home, if it's a home run, the game's over. If it's not a home run, he's going to catch it. I'm going to get myself in the scoring position. That was a smart move going back, tagging up on that ball.
See how the Pirates play this defensively. An alignment. Mark Trumbo tries to win it. Seven career walk-off hits for Trumbo. And this is going to do it. McCutcheon's throw toward the plate is late. And the Orioles come back and walk it off on the base hit by Trumbo. Jonathan Scope's 2-run homer in the ninth tied it. That heads-up base running. Bob just pointed out Jones tagging, moving up 90 feet, pays off. And the Orioles win it in extras.
This was kind of a tough one to lose, obviously. Leading all the way. Having it tied up in the ninth. But it is a game of baseball, and there's another one tomorrow, and that's what the Pirates got to be concentrating on now. Can't do anything about this one. You just hope that Nova's knee is going to be okay. I think that's probably one of the most important things to think about now. Here you see that pitch was probably not even a strike. Looked like it was outside by at least a few inches. But Jones, very good speed, scored fairly easily on this one.
The Orioles win another game in extra innings. They're now 8-1 in extras as they come back to win it. A 2-run homer by Jonathan Scope off Tony Watson in the ninth. A game-winning hit by Chris Davis, and they win it in 10. We'll go back to Paul and Teak in the studio.